Hello, Knights fans. Back with this week's edition of the FDU Men's Basketball Report. Here with head coach Greg Herenda. Coach took a tough loss to a red-hot, Red Flash St. Francis team. Kind of a buzzsaw the way they've been going through the NEC over the last two-plus weeks. But you recovered nicely here against Bryant. Took care of business on your home floor. How happy with you with the way your team responded to a rare blowout, really, to be honest, in NEC play. You don't have to see too many of those, especially for us.
This year, the only blowout that we were involved with in the NEC is us at St. Francis. So it's a shame because two really good teams have played each other twice, and both games were non-competitive, which is weird, but we have a lot of respect, like I say all the time, about all the coaches in our league and all the teams. But St. Francis is playing great basketball. We just laid an egg. I mean, there's nothing – I didn't see it coming, and that's why the Bryant game, sleeping the night before the Bryant game, was hard to do because I'm like, I hope this really isn't our team. And I didn't think it, but you don't know until it actually happens. And we came out and just really were efficient offensively. Darnell Edge, started early and finished it late. A lot of great storylines. Pat McNamara, banging three really meaningful shots in a game that we needed to get without Caleb Bishop. Jaleel was awesome. Mike had 10 rebounds. I don't want to forget anybody. Elijah Williams. Everybody was really good. So to come back after that game, we've won 7 out of our 9 games, and all I find out and all I hear about is people asking me what happened in those 2 games, which is good because our bar is set high. We have a good team. We have good players. But the other teams are trying to win, Brian. So it's not like you just come out and you're going to win conference games right now. You look at Villanova, St. John's, you look at, Kentucky, Tennessee. It's really, really hard. So we're in a good place. We still have a lot of work to do, although we only have 4 regular season games left. But I like really how our team responded. I'm very proud of their grit and their toughness and our execution. Bryant is a scary team. I mean, they get Grant. And Towns are really good. They got good young players. So to come away with a Saturday win is huge because it just kind of lasts longer. The Thursday win is great, but it evaporates quickly. So to win on a Saturday is good. It puts everybody in a good frame of mind, take a deep breath, and get ready for another tough weekend in our conference.
Yeah, you mentioned the Saturday game. It's nice having that quick turnaround after a tough loss. You don't have much time to let it lament. You come back right there on Saturday, and you get the big win. Lots to unpack, as you touched on, in that Bryant win, particularly Pat McNamara. Great story. He got hurt here last year in the game against Bryant in the regular season finale. Comes back. He's really been trying to find his rhythm. As a coach, obviously, you're really proud of him. He comes out, hits 3 out of 4 threes, what he's known for. Really sparked it. I think one of the last ones probably was a dagger.
That was a dagger.
Yeah, so but for Pat and from you as a coach, how do you go about the feeling out process? You were putting him out there limited minutes, and then it finally paid off.
Yeah, you just knew, and I talked to my players, not at length, but talk to my players every day about what they're doing, what they can do, and my mantra was, Pat, is just keep put your head down, keep working. I'm going to put you in there, and it's going to happen, and you're going to win us a meaningful game soon. And it was apropos that it was a game just to almost exercise the demons. As you noted, he broke his ankle on this floor against that team and then had surgery, and his family from Chicago comes and he doesn't play, and they come and they bring him to another MRI, another doctor. So, our fans don't see that side of this business. When the kids can't play and they're going through therapy and they're in pain and they're not playing, and it's really hard. And Pat went through some difficult times, and then it pays off on a day like Saturday. And now it's like, okay, Pat, he can do that again. And the thing that Pat doesn't get credit for, he's a really good basketball player. He can. You notice when he goes in the game, he moves the ball really well. Defensively, he's not going to guard the best player every night, but he gets his hands involved in a lot of plays, and he just makes us better. So it's not only his three-point shooting, but his entire energy and game is good. And I'm just happy for his mom, his dad, his sister, his brother, because those guys are huge fans. And it's a family goes through hard times just as well as a player. And but Pat's hard times ended on Saturday, and no one was. The McNamaras were happy, but the head coach was really happy for Pat as well.
Yeah, you talked about all of his intangibles. I'm here at practice a lot. I see he's one of the guys. He knows the offense in and out.
Oh, yeah.
He's directing guys. A lot of intangibles that come with Pat McNamara. Yes. So Pat hit 3 out of 4, but I'd be remiss if we didn't mention Darnell Edge, 32 points, 11 of 14, 7 of 8 from 3. He's hit 13 of his last 15 3-pointers. Around that whole thing, you're shooting 39% on the season from 3. That's now 16th or 17th in the country as of today. Is that surprised you at all with the efficiency with your team shooting at 39%?
You know what's a shame is we'll talk about it, but senior night is coming up on Saturday. Every shot that Darnell makes, I think, is going in. Every shot that he misses, I think, is going in. I take it for granted. I'm spoiled because I see it every day. So when he goes 11 for 14 and 7 for 8, I just kind of go to the next play. But it's remarkable, and it's all about Darnell's work ethic and how much time he puts into this gym and the gyms back in Saugerties. His whole career, his whole life, he's got a great family, and they come down. So I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised when he misses, but a tremendous career. He's climbing on the three-point. You know, when I had Mustafa Jones. So, Bryant, I cannot be accused of not letting my players shoot. Mustafa is number 1 on the list, I believe, and now number 3 is Darnell. And this has happened in 6 years. So we like to shoot the 3, but right now no one's shooting the 3 as well as Darnell Edge. I don't want to jinx myself, but he's unjinxable because the kid is just he's kind of a machine when he shoots the basketball. It's repetitive. Motion is incredible, and no one deserves it more than Darnell.
I think our NEC communications director, Ron Ratner, he had a tweet about, is there a smoother three-point stroke in the land more than Darnell Edge? And I don't know that there is. So you mentioned the upcoming games here. You have 2 more in this building before you finish up the regular season on the road. You get Sacred Heart and Wagner here. Teams that you've had tough losses to this season, with some rare losses, but with the way your team is playing now, what do you see for the upcoming week?
Well, I think, we're a totally different team than when we played Wagner, and the Sacred Heart night, Sacred Heart just beat us. We weren't good enough to beat them up there, but we're just really excited about playing teams that beat us and playing teams that are vying for seeding and getting into the NEC conference tournament. So now you want to have a good year, you got to win these games. And obviously, it's a cliche, but we take them one at a time. Sacred Heart's really, really fast. Offensively, they've got guys that can really, really shoot it. So we have to come out ready to play in both of those games. But I just think at this time of the year, everyone that's 8 and 6 is playing good basketball. So the team that makes the shots, but more importantly, the teams that make the stops will win. And that's what we have to work on. At the end of the game, we really didn't stop Bryant. We need to stop Sacred Heart. And Wagner is notoriously one of the best defensive teams in the conference and in the country. They're playing more zone this year, but they're really good in the zone. So it's going to be 2 really hard games against 2 really good programs. But we're excited, man. It's February, and now we're getting closer to March, and that's when it's fun, and that's when we want our fans to come out and our alums to come out. We have a new athletic director as we're taping. Today's his first day. So it's as they say on the street, man, it's all good.
Yeah, definitely a logjam in the NEC standings. Yes. For one, Wagner, we talked about their defensive intensity, tends to be like they like to play in the low scoring in the 60s. Right. Your team has scored 90 points in 4 games this season, the most against Division I opponents. That's the most since 97-98 season on the total. Sure. But you've showed you can win that 60-58 game, and I asked you a couple weeks ago, you'll take the wins, you take them. Right. But against Wagner, is it important that you get up into the 70s, 80s, or you're comfortable playing in the lower scoring game against them?
I want them to have less points than we do. So, and every game kind of evolves, but our Wagner games are always tooth and nail. But you go back to our championship game, and I think we scored 89 points in the championship game, or 87. And then we go there and we didn't score the basketball. But, our intent always is to guard hard, turn people over, run, score, and get it going. Now, you can't do that to every team. Teams are very well coached. So when we can get in the 90s, we're going to probably have a good chance of winning. But if we need to just play a low-scoring game, I think our team is equipped still to win that game as well. But it's just a really – sounds like a broken record because I hear coaches in the Big Ten talk about it. And Steve Peichel is a dear friend, and they just had a really tough loss against Iowa. every league is hard, Brian, because the teams now, there's so much talent and there's so much coaching, and the difference between one team and another is minimal. And, we just need to do the little things better, and especially at the end of the game. But if we can get out and run, man, my players can do that.
That's for sure. Good luck this week.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Coach Herenda and his Knights are back here for 2 more games inside the Rothman Center. First up is Thursday night at 7 o'clock in Sacred Heart. Saturday will be Senior Day. Come out. It'll be a great opportunity. You're going to honor your seniors at home for maybe the final time. We'll see how the NEC standings play out. But Nadi Basiri, Mike Holloway Jr., and Darnell Edge, they'll be honored before the game. It'll be a 4:30 game following the women's game, and that'll be against Wagner. So as always, check back to FDUnights.com.